guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is my October what have I been consuming? The spooky season! I mean, we're in November right now, so we're technically in the Christmas season! My favorite season! Let's just get right into all the things that I watched, read, and consumed in the month of October. So the first thing I watched in the month of October was season 3 of Carmen Sandiego! I love this show. The current show that's on Netflix is really good. I really liked season 3. There was a lot that happened in season 3 that I was very excited about. So this season was all about finding her mom. We didn't find her mom, but like I know we're probably gonna find it in season 4 if we get a season 4. I don't know how many seasons there's gonna be, but it was a really good season. I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was so good. The first movie that I watched this month was The Emperor's New Groove, the Disney movie. I have not seen that movie in such a long time, and it is a classic. Like, a lot of the older Disney movies are such classics, and Emperor's New Groove is no exception. Kuzco and Pacha's, like, friendship. I just love Emperor's New Groove. I think it's because I really love a lot of the, like, Incan, Mayan, Aztec, Egyptian type of mythology, and it had more of, like, an Incan, Aztec, Mayan type of, like, feel and clothing and vibe about it, which I loved. Such a classic. It's such a good Disney film. Yzma's such a good villain. You love Kronk. I just love this movie. It was so good. I have to give it an 8 out of 10. It's such a good Disney classic movie. I really want to rewatch some of the older Disney classic movies because they're so good. The first book that I read this month, this book was both a treat to read but also very bittersweet because it was the last ever Percy Jackson series book. Rick Riordan might write more Percy Jackson books where they'd be standalones, whereas this was the last in his series, and that was The Tower of Nero, the last book in the Trials of Apollo series. I had such a fun time with this book. There was more Nico, there was more Will, we got to see Percy and Annabeth again, we got to see all of the characters, and Rick Riordan, I just love his writing. He's so inclusive of every single type of like human being you can imagine, and it's just so nice to see that an author that just is like, I'm gonna put any kind of characters in all the characters. Like, he has a trans character, he has a bi character, gay character, I think he has an asexual character. I just love the characters. I love the different types of characters. I just love these characters. And he wrapped up Percy, Annabeth, Grover, Piper, Leo, Nico, Will, Frank, Hazel, everyone's stories from like the first books. He wrapped up so nicely. Everyone has like what they're gonna do in the future, but I had such a good time reading this. I cried, obviously, because it's the last book, because I've been reading this series since I was 12 years old, as they were, so I just have such a connection to all these characters, and I love these characters so much. I love Rick's books, and this is no exception. I give this a 9 out of 10. It was so good. The next show that I watched was actually kind of a rewatch. So one weekend in October, I spent, believe it was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday over at my friend's house. We all took precautions. We were safe. We're all fine now. My one friend, she has not seen any of season 4 of My Hero Academia, and me and my one friend have. And so we watched episodes 3 through 13 of My Hero Academia season 4. And I gotta tell you, I still love season 4 with a passion. I love it. It is such a good season. Just Deku's journey. Everyone, Kirishima and Tamaki and all these characters get such a good story arc. Mirio, Eri, I just love, like, oh, it was such a good season. Like, any anime I watched always has like a school festival, and up to this point, My Hero had never had one. I really wanted one, and they had one in season 4, and I was so excited. So obviously I give episodes 3 through 13 that we watched a 9 out of 10. I have a review talking about all of season 4 that I will link in the description. Yeah, the second movie that I watched in the month of October and was Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really like Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's something about the Ant-Man movies. They're not my favorite Marvel movies. They're not my least favorite. Whenever I want a Marvel film, I gravitate towards those two just because they're shorter and because I just find myself never getting bored watching them. You know what I mean? They're just really fun, enjoyable films, and Ant-Man and the Wasp is no exception. Granted, there are a lot of story plots in that one, and it's kind of a little convoluted. It's kind of like, okay, can you just take these like mercenary guys out? I'm just here for Ghost. But it's a good movie nonetheless. I saw it in theaters and I did really enjoy it. So Ant-Man and the Wasp gets a 7.8 out of 10 for me. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first Ant-Man movie, but it's still a good movie nonetheless. The first Halloween movie I watched this month was Haunted Mansion with Mr. Eddie Murphy. This is based off of the Disney ride, which I did go on when I was in Disney World. I was in Disney World in 2008. But I remember going on the Haunted Mansion ride, and mind you, I was in 5th grade, so I was like the scariest of scares you could ever imagine. I remember, I think for like 90% of the ride, I just had my hands over my eyes because I was too scared to even do that. I was too afraid. I think now I'd be like totally chill and be like, yeah, that's whatever. But I do like the Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy. It's really fun. Not the best Halloween movie out there, but it's one of those ones where I'll watch every Halloween just because it's enjoyable. I gave Haunted Mansion an 8 out of 10. It's just a fun Halloween movie to watch. Nothing super exciting, but hey, I like most of Disney's Halloween movies they've come out with, and this is no exception. The next Halloween movie I watched was one that came out this year that I was very excited about because I do like Adam Sandler a lot, and that was WHIBC Halloween. Okay, a lot of people think this movie is so stupid. I think it's really fun. It may be really stupid, but it's also a really fun Halloween movie. I watched it twice this month. I watched it early in October, and then I watched it on Halloween night with my parents because I was like, you guys have to watch this movie. I was watching it and both laughing and tearing up a little bit because how can you not root for Hubie? Like, everyone in the town hates him, and I can understand that because like I was bullied a lot in high school, so I know what it's like to be picked on. It had so many celebrities in it too. Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin James was in it. The guy who played the principal in Mean Girls is in it. Maya Rudolph is in it. I'm trying to think who else. The girl who plays Claire Dunphy on Modern Family is in it. I think it's Julie Brown. They were just missing Chris Rock, and they would have all of like the dads from Grown Ups in this movie, which I thought was so fun. I really liked WHIBC Halloween. I thought it was really funny. It's not the best Halloween movie out there, obviously, but it was just a fun Halloween movie, and I kind of want to watch it again. I'm being completely honest here. So I give WHIBC Halloween an 8 out of 10 because I thought it was just a fun movie. Next Halloween movie I watched is one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. I go back and forth between either if it's Corpse Bride or Nightmare Before Christmas, favorite like Tim Burton movie, and it's so hard. It's just so hard to like. I think they're probably my two favorites. I watched Corpse Bride this month, but I love Corpse Bride. I don't know if you are this way, but I always shipped Victor and Emily. I was like, I'm sorry, but Victoria is so bland. Like, Victor, you have a personality. You love music, and Emily loves to sing. I feel like Victor and Emily would have been a perfect couple. Is this just me? It's not just because my name is Emily. I love Victor and Emily together. They were such a good couple. They just had so much in common, and she had a personality and he had a personality. So I remember the first time I watched it and he went with Victoria. I was like, you're missing out, Victor. You're picking the wrong girl. I love Corpse Bride. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's such a good film. Or Tim Burton's claymation animation movies that he does are so good. They take so long to make, but they're so good. Next movie that I watched was Over the Moon. Oh my god, Over the Moon. It had me crying from the very beginning to the very end. Well, not just the fact that it had a beautiful message, it had a beautiful music, the animation was beautiful, but I believe it was an all Asian cast. Beautiful in and of itself. Just like the animation, the music, the story, the characters. It's so good. Oh, the message of having to deal with losing a parent and then your only parent you have left wants to remarry, dealing with not losing the memory of your other parent. And thinking about it just makes me want to cry. Like, I'm starting to like get teared up thinking about it. It's about dealing with grief and dealing with your father remarrying or a parent remarrying someone after you already lost your other parent, and dealing with accepting someone new into your life and how that's going to affect the way you do things and having to just try new things. It's just a really good film, and I really loved it. It was so good. I give it definitely a 9 out of 10. But if you have not seen it yet, you are doing yourself a disservice. Please go watch it. The show that I watched this month was one I watched the day it came out, and I was so excited about this. I love Greek and Roman mythology. I love animation. I love Castlevania, and this was produced and made by the same animation people that made Castlevania, and that was The Blood of Zeus on Netflix. This show was so good. From the animation, mind you, it was made by the people that made Castlevania, so it looks so good. The Greek mythology aspect of it was so good, and the characters were so good. It follows this boy named Huron, who is outcasted by the rest of the people in this village. You follow him dealing with the fact that he learns that he's the son of Zeus, and he's now a demigod, and so he's having to train to be a demigod, while also having to deal with Hera. Because Hera, obviously, if you know Greek mythology, is the wife of Zeus. If you know anything about Greek mythology, you know Zeus is like 100% unfaithful. He's like a scum of the earth. But he becomes unfaithful to Hera with Huron's mother. We learn so much about Huron and Zeus and Huron's mother and her past and Huron's past and about Zeus and all the gods and goddesses. Once again, Netflix's brand is coming at us with beautiful looking men with long flowing hair. Sephirim and Apollo. They're like the Lotor, the Alucard, and the Runan. Beautiful looking boy with long, beautiful white hair. Like, that is Netflix's brand, I tell you. Lotor, beautiful looking boy, white hair. Runan, beautiful looking boy with white long hair. Alucard, beautiful boy with, he's got light blonde hair, but it's still long. Then you have Sephirim and now Apollo. Like, is that Netflix's animation brand? Is to make you like these really attractive looking boys with long white hair. Like, is that their brand? I swear that's their brand, because they're getting me every time. But anyway, I digress. Blood of Zeus is really good. If you like Greek mythology, if you like the same animation and story of Castlevania, I think you will really enjoy the Blood of Zeus. I highly recommend it. 10 or 9 episodes, enough to get you hooked, but not to like take you forever to watch. I watched it in a day. I really enjoyed Blood of Zeus, give it an 8 out of 10. The last movie that I watched this month is a classic. Hocus Pocus! This is a classic. I love this movie. I feel like I can't ever get bored rewatching it. I've seen it so many times and I'm not bored in the slightest. Like Winifred, Sarah, and Mary Sanderson, they're just so good. I just love it. And just like the whole Sanderson thing. I know Disney's making a sequel. I'm both excited and nervous, because I'm excited because yes, more of the Sanderson sisters. I'm nervous because Disney with their sequels, depending on the person, is very hit or miss. I'm a little nervous about it, but I feel like Disney can pull it off. Even if it's a little good, I'm sure people will enjoy, but obviously it's been how many years since this one, so I'm pretty sure there will be people that are gonna just hate it. Obviously, Hocus Pocus gets an 8 out of 10 for me. It's just a fun, I really enjoyed this movie. It's just, like, I like everything about it. And the second and last book I read this month, I didn't read very much this month, was My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. This is more of like a summary read, but I don't care. It's November 4th today, and it's like 80 degrees outside in Wisconsin, which is like, you can't tell me global warming doesn't exist. But this is a reread. This book, for a long time, I would read it every summer because I just really enjoyed it, and it's such a good book. But I just like this book. I love Samantha and Jace's relationship and their families and the plot and the conflicts and the drama. I really enjoyed this book. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's just so good. I love Samantha. I love Jace. I love their relationship. I love Tim. I love Alice. I really, really like this book. It's just so good. And if you guys like contemporary romances and you like really good romances, I highly recommend this book. And it doesn't leave you when things are getting good, so you don't have to worry about that. So that was everything that I read, watched, and consumed in the month of October. Not a whole lot, but I'm gonna try to keep it like lower, a little bit more calm for this month of November. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you with another video very soon. Bye guys!